Hi everyone, it's Teresa back with Craving Crochet. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining Craving Crochet today. I am coming in today with a tutorial. And I've been working on this beautiful poncho. Let me show it to you. I hope I can get it all on camera. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out. I hope I can get it all on camera here for you. But it's beautiful, and I'm calling it the winter white poncho because I used the that white sparkle yarn that I showed you way back in a previous video on a yarn haul, and I had to get more because I ran out, because I was going to do something else when I was making it, but then I decided just to continue with this beautiful poncho. So it's really easy. It's a lovely stitch, and it's just perfect to brighten up our winter. And it's got a bit of a sparkle, so I'm calling it the winter white poncho. And on with the tutorial. I hope you make it. Okay, in order to do this project, you will need a crochet hook, and the one I'm going to be using is a 5mm hook, a pair of scissors, and a needle to clean up all your edges. And I'm deciding that I'm going to go with this beautiful premium Bernat yarn by Yarnspirations. It is a medium 4. And it does recommend a 5mm hook, and that's what I'm going to use. 97% acrylic and 3% metallic. So I think it's a beautiful winter white looking yarn. So I have 2 skeins of this. I've never made this before. This is just coming from my brain. So I have 2 skeins, and I think that'll be more than enough. How much is in here? We've got a total of 5 ounces. Hopefully you can see it. 5 ounces, 142 grams, 258 yards. So I've got 2 of those, so I think it should be plenty. So let's get started with this beautiful poncho, winter poncho. I'll be right back. Okay, so just so you know, for me to make this poncho, I ended up using 3 of these skeins. All right, so we're going to start by obviously making a slip knot. At the beginning of each and every crochet project, we make a slip knot. And we need to make, because the pattern that we're going to be doing, we need to make chains of 4, multiples of 4. So I need to make it 28 inches wide. So I have no idea how many to do yet because I've never done this before. I'm actually filming it as I go. So I'm just going to start chaining 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 3 sets of 4. So I have to keep doing this and measuring, doing it and measuring, and then I'll be back to let you know how many chains to do, multiples of 4 of. So I will be back. Alrighty, so I'm back, and I ended up making a chain of 148 chains, which are multiples of 4. So in order to start the pattern, we need to do multiples of 4, which we did. And we have to do an extra chain of 1 at the end of the chains. So we're going to do 1 more stitch, which is 149 now, right? So the next part of the pattern is we are going to make 2 triple crochets. So to do a triple crochet, you yarn over your hook twice, and we're to go into the 6th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's the 6th chain. You're going to insert your hook in there, and you're going to yarn over once, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's a triple crochet. And then we're going to repeat this. So again, triple crochet, which is yarn over your hook twice, go into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So there we have our 2 triple crochets in that same stitch, and then we are going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a double crochet in that same stitch, just like this. And there you have your first pattern stitch. Okay, so the next step is we're going to repeat this. So we're going to chain over twice, or yarn over twice, and we're going to go into the 4th chain. So you're going to skip 3. 1, 2, 3. In the 4th one, we're going to make a treble crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over twice, go into that same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, and now we're going to make a double crochet in that same stitch, just like we just previously did, just like that. So this beginning where we skipped all those chains represents a double crochet and the chain 2. The 2 skipped, the 3 skipped chains. So we're just going to continue doing this pattern. So once again, you yarn over your hook twice, and then you count 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. I can't see it well. 1, 2, and 3. In the 4th one, we're going to repeat this pattern. So you're going to skip 3 and just keep working these 2 triple crochets, chain 1, and 1 double crochet in that same stitch. So there's my 2nd triple crochet, chain 1, and now we're going to go yarn over once, go into that same stitch, and make a double crochet. So just keep repeating this to the continuously down the row, and I'll meet you when we get to the end of the row. I believe we have to have a couple of stitches before we reach the end, but I'll just confirm that when I get back to the next step. Okay, so I've almost at the end of the row. So when you get to the last pattern stitch, you should have 3 stitches left. So what we do next is we simply yarn over, go into that very last stitch. So there should be 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so we're going to go into that last stitch. So yarn over, and we're just simply going to make a single crochet in that 3rd last stitch, just like that. So there you have the first row of this beautiful stitch. So what we do next is we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then flip our work over, so that we're starting the new row, row 2. And what we simply do is we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to work in that space between the double crochet and the two triple crochets. So in that chain space that we made in each pattern row, we're going to make again 2 of those treble crochets, yarn over twice, go back into that space, and then make your treble crochet twice, chain 1, yarn over, go back into that chain space, and make a double crochet. So you're working inside that stitch each time. So we're just going to repeat this once again. Yarn over twice, go into that chain space from the previous row, do your 1 treble crochet, yarn over twice, go back into that chain space. Am I in the right space here? Let me make sure. Let me do that again. So yarn over twice, go back into that chain 1 space, drop a loop, chain, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over our yarn over hook, and then we're going to do a single or a double crochet in that chain same space, chain 1 space. So we're just going to repeat that. I'll do one more on camera. So we're going to go back into this chain space that we of the previous row. So yarn over hook twice to make 2 treble crochets or triple crochets, however way you want to pronounce it. Yarn over hook twice again, go back in and make another triple crochet, chain 1, yarn over, and make your double crochet. So we're just going to keep doing this pattern all the way along, and I'll meet you near the end of the row to carry on with the next set of instructions. All right, so I've done the last 2 trebles, chain 1, 1 double crochet in that last chain space, and then we have these 2 trebles and the double crochet from the previous row. So how we simply end this is we're just going to make a double crochet on top of that double crochet, the very last stitch, just like this, and that's how you end row 2. And now from here on in, we're just going to keep repeating row 2. And so I'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3, flip my work around, and then just keep working in this pattern by making 2 triple crochets in that chain space. I'll do another one, another triple crochet, oops, chain 1, and then a double crochet, just like this. You see how pretty is this pattern? I'll do one more on camera. So we're going to go back into this chain space from the previous row, make 2 triple crochets, yarn over twice, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over hook once, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. And that's what we do. We just continue in this fashion, and I'm going to work up this pattern for a total of, I have to reach about 10 inches. So I don't know how many rows that is yet, but I will let you know once I get to that point so that I can give you an idea of how many rows you need to do. So just carry on in this fashion, and I'll meet you back once I reach about 10 inches. I don't know how high that is here, but I will be back and show you when I get to that point. Alrighty, so I am finished all the rows that I need to do. I ended up doing, I believe it was 29 rows, and I measured from bottom to top, and it measures about 20 inches, and then the width is 48 inches. So I'm making this according to my body. So so I've finished the last stitch here. So I'm going to just remove it from the hook. So I'm going to make a chain and get my scissors, cut my yarn, pull through, and then I'll just weave that in later on. So, okay, so that's the big rectangle. So it's 20 inches tall, so from bottom to top to bottom, and then from left to right, it's 48 inches. That's the measurement that I'm using, and I made about 29 stitch patterns according to my size. But you need to depends on your size as well. So you need to keep trying it on, measuring it. And what I did was, okay, so what I just did was I folded it in half. Let me try and explain every step so you can follow with this tutorial. So I'm folding it in half, which I can't show you on camera. So there, I just folded it in half evenly. I might do this nice and even. 1 second here. Let me get it nice and even. Let's fold it in half evenly. As much as you can. It needs to be even. And then we're going to flip it over. I put a stitch marker in here because this is where I want to just make a little row of single crochets along here. And that's going to be the neck opening. So let me grab my yarn again and attach it. Just give me a second here. Okay, so I folded it in half and I want to make the neck opening about 11 and a little bit. It's about 11 inches, 11 and a half. I think it's about 11. That's where my stitch marker is, yes. So that's where we're going to make our neck opening. So I'm going to start on, that's where I put the stitch marker so I know that that's where I want to start it. So I'm just putting it on the edge right opposite that. And I'm going to start making single crochets, I think. Just a little edge of single crochets. So I made a slip stitch, or a slip knot. And then I'm going to chain 1. And then we're just going to go into each of these chains and make a single crochet. Just like this, just to give you a little bit of a neck edge. So just go along and make single crochets along this edge of this poncho, just like this. So each stitch, go in, make a single crochet, just like this. Go in the next one, oops, oops, go into the next, make a single crochet, go into the next stitch, make a single crochet, into the next, make a single crochet. I guess you can go into the spaces too. So we're just making like a little edge of single crochets all the way around. You could go into that space again, go into that single crochet or stitch. Try and go into the stitches. If you can't go in the stitches, just go into the space. Just so you make a little bit of an edging for the neck opening. And just go all the way along in this fashion, just going all the way along till you reach that other stitch mark, or till you reach the stitch marker, and then we're going to attach it. So let me just continue doing this. I'll do a few more on camera. So just making single crochets like this, single crochet, the next stitch, single crochet, just easy little edging for, I think I'm going to go into, yeah, I'll go into that little, I'm just making this as I go. I don't have a pattern. I do use patterns, but when I decide to make things on my own, so far, I've never written a pattern. I don't know, maybe one day I will, but I've never reached that stage in my crochet creations yet where I'm going to make a pattern, but who knows. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and I will meet you back when I get to the stitch marker, and I'll show you the next step. All right, so I'm almost at the end of going around this part of this edge here to make our neck edging and close it off. So I'm at where the stitch marker is, so I'm just going to insert my hook in there, as well as where I started, which is where, this is where the yarn that I started doing the single crochet. So I'll go into both. Let me make sure I got my yarn here. how am I going to do this? Let's see. Put the yarn over here, go into where the stitch marker is, and go into here, and then make my last single crochet in there. And I've also fastened it so that now we've got the opening for our heads to go through for this poncho. So next what we have to do is we're going to have to put these two edges, we're going to have to sew them, or we can single crochet them together. So maybe we'll just do a quick, or not even single crochet, but a slip stitches. We'll do slip stitches to join the two edges together. So we'll go into the next edging here, through both these panels that we've put together. We've folded them together, and now we're just going to attach them together by making slip stitches all the way along. Since we've crocheted that opening shut, we've made the single crochet, where is it? We made the single crochet edge along for our neck and head opening, and then we're just going to close off these two edges together. We're going to stitch them together by slip stitching all the way across, going through both panels on the top, just like this, just like that. So I'm going to keep doing this. I'm not going to record it all because I will run out of space quick, but you keep doing the same. If you don't want to do it this way, you can just do a whip stitch with some needle and thread, or needle and yarn, and work your way across both of these edges, front and back, in order to secure this part of our poncho closed. So just carry on doing this, and I will meet you back as soon as I'm done, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I'm almost at the end. I'm just going to finish it off on camera to show you. Just slip stitching along till I get to the very end of both of these panels. So I'm almost at the end. Just keep going through both sides, front and back. Sorry, I didn't show you that because I was off camera. Let me do it again. So go in the front and the back. Slip stitch, go through the front and the back, and slip stitch, and maybe I'll do one more, and then we will fasten off. So just go into that last little corner and slip stitch front and back, make a chain and cut your yarn and fasten off. All right, so now we have the neck opening, and this part of the poncho is closed off. And so next what we got to do is, let me just flip this over, we're going to make some fringes along this edge that we're going to put along. So when you open this up, we're going to put fringes along this edge and fringes along that edge. So I'll be back to show you how to do that. All right, so in order to do these fringes, I'm using this remote. Okay, this remote is about, let me grab my tape measure. Okay, grab my tape measure. The remote is about almost 10 inches. Let's just say 9 3/4. So we'll say about 10, almost 10 inches. So anyways, so what I did was I cut some yarn off because I did it off camera. But what you do, okay, hopefully I can do it this time. It's kind of difficult, but to record everything. So I'm going to wrap it around 4 times. So that's 2, 3, and 4. Wrap it around. Oops. Wrap it around to the back. Oh, and it keeps coming off. So anyway, so there, I wrapped it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? And then you're just going to take it off the remote. Now you don't have to do this each time. This is just to show you, to give you an idea of how to do it. So another way of doing that, once you figure out how long you want it, so I want it about this length. Like I said, it's almost 10 inches. So what I did was, oh, now I tangled up this yarn. So another way to do it, once you know the length, okay, so once you wrap it around your length that you like 4 times, then you can get a measurement that you want. So what I did was I measured this and I put it in half, and I measured it, like I divided it in half, and I got 37 inches. So then we're going to divide it in half again to get your 4 strands. So you need 37 times 2, which is 74, I believe, or no, 72 inches of yarn. Okay, so you don't have to keep wrapping it around. Just, you can measure 72 or wrap it around. Actually, I'm gonna do it that many times because that's the length I want. See, so it goes back to the remote, so it's about 10, almost 10 inches, right? And then this is the length that we want to make our fringes. And I'll be back to show you the next step. All right, so this is the edge that you want to put your fringes on. This is the seam that we made. If I flip it over, you can see it better where we attached it. We made the opening for the neck and the head, right? And then we put that seam in. So this is that seam that we put together. I still have to tidy it up, but we're going to be putting fringes along this edge. Let me try and flip it over. So this is the seam, right? So we're going to be putting fringes along this edge here and this edge here. So basically where we seamed it together, we're going to be putting fringes all the way from here across. This is where the seam is, and then all the way across, just this edge right here. And then when you fold it in half, there'll be some in the front and some in the back. So let me try and demonstrate how I'm going to do this fringe. So like I measured it and I showed you. So you're going to take it like this, and I guess we'll start right here on this corner. Grab your hook, just like this, and my batteries are going to die any second now, so I'm going to have to come back. All right, so I went ahead and I did one off camera so I could try and figure out how to do it and then show you how to do it. So here's another one. I wrapped it around the remote again. So I think I'm going to do it about, I don't know how close I want to go, maybe in between that chain space. Maybe I'll go right into this section here. And then what you do is you just simply, you know, it's easier said than done. You pull it through. So you put on your crochet hook, you pull it through that stitch. Hopefully I could show you on camera. Slowly, slowly. It's not that hard. It's just hard to film it. Okay, so there, I did it. So take your hook out, and then you just get your fingers in there. You grab this end, and you just loop it through, and then you tighten it up. And then you just trim the end here. And of course I don't have my scissors close by because I am filming. So that's it. That's how you do it. And then we're going to trim this where the loops are. This was the one I just put on. And then we're going to make it nice and straight. So I would just continue just doing these fringes, tassels, try and space them out a little bit, and then I'll meet you back when I am done. It's not difficult, but it's a little time consuming, but it's gonna look amazing. I can't wait to see it all finished. All right, I'll be back. Alrighty, I am all finished. the winter white poncho, and I love it. And I probably have put some clips of me wearing it in front of the video. So I hope that you try this pattern. Really easy. So this is again where I don't know if I explained it properly, but this is where the neck is, and then we sewed, or we did slip stitches here to join, and then we just went along this edge to do all these beautiful fringes that just add such a nice look to this poncho. And it just hangs all on one side. I really, really love it. I love this yarn. I hope you try it, and leave me a comment. Thumb it up if you like it. And share it out. And join my Facebook group if you make this, and then you can post your pictures on it. So I hope you try it out. And thank you so much for watching. And we'll be back with more on Craving Crochet. Thank you.